Hey, Brickmaniacs, we're here at World War Brick 2023 on the showroom floor, taking a closer look at some of the impressive creations that have arrived this year. This is my good friend Sam. He's going to talk about some shipbuilding with us. What's your social media, man?
I'm LegoHistorySam on Instagram, and yeah, this is my Navy, basically.
Yes, it is.
So a lot of these are actually historical ships. So a lot of them I try to build for like not a lot of people build some of these ships. Like not a lot of people build an Atlanta class cruiser or the battleship USS Iowa. So you guys built Missouri.
Yep.
So a lot of people built New Jersey and Wisconsin. I'm like,
the icons.
the icons. Yeah. I'm like, hey, let's build Iowa. So I thought that would be cool. So yeah.
So talk to me a little. Obviously, you got a lot of builds going on here. Take me through the history a little bit of when these came together, how they built, and then did you kind of build up in size? Did you start small and make it grow, or how did it go?
So it started off with Laffy because my great-grandfather served on her in Korea.
Oh, wow,
You can see, I have some photos there of him. I was like kind of build, like built him as a minifigure. I just got him here at World War Brick as one of the photos, so kind of interesting there. Then I hit Juno. Juno was like my first mega build.
So this is, did you scale it out first, kind of like our designers with blueprints, or did you just take bricks and start going?
I literally did the exact same thing as you guys. I did the blueprints with the historical photos, and I literally, if I built the 5-inch gun mounts of the Laffy and the Juno, I could build any ship in the U.S. Navy during World War II. Then after that, COVID hit, and I'm like, oh geez, what happens next? So I started outlining Iowa.
I've got time on my hands.
And then after Iowa's being built, I made the USS Fletcher, my first Fletcher class destroyer, because the L&M Sumners, like Laffy, had the same hull. So I made that and I added the Fletcher class destroyer.
So you kind of knew what you were working with and knew you could take it on that way as well.
Nice. It's kind of like back-tagging history. Like the Fletchers were built first, then the L&M Sumners. So L&M Sumners were built first, then the Fletchers were my fleet. Then after that, I made the USS LST-325. Actually, cool thing is, it's kind of micro brick battle. So these are actually Stuarts. So inside there, you can actually fit Sherman tanks. Like this lowers, like the front opens. And like there's a bridge that drops down so you can actually roll off Sherman tanks. So I'm like, hey, you guys don't do it for Brickmania. I'm like, why not? I can build it. So I built it. And
that's what we love to see.
Oh yeah. Then after that, I made Pillsbury. Pillsbury was what, U-505. That one of your guys' kits right there. Dan let me borrow it. Then after
it looks good. It's a nice little showcase next to each other, you know?
A little bit under scale, but hey, I'm gonna make it again. So then after that, I think I built I built Clamagore first. Then the USS Barb. Actually, the only submarine to destroy Japanese trained on Japanese homeland. They actually landed troops on board. On the homeland and just blew it up. The Nehru series was like launching anti-aircraft guns up, thinking it was the air raid. But then after that, I made my World War I era destroyers with I think that's I can't remember what that one is. But then Reuben James. Then my World War I era type destroyer and my Spanish-American War ship. That one is basically Vitruvius, gunboat. Then comes Sullivan's DD-537. A lot of that was donation money from the good people of Waterloo, Iowa. So the Sullivan brothers were a family of 5 boys that died on the Juno in November of 1942. And so they named, as Navy does, they named the ship after the boys. Not one boy, but all of them.
Yeah, sure.
And so she's still around. So a lot of these ships are still around, but she's one of the most significant ones still around. A lot of people donated, like, hey, build this ship, build this ship. Now I have to build an Arleigh Burke. That is huge. Like, I have to bake that by next year. But yeah, that's the rest. That's the fleet.
So you're already planning ahead.
Oh my gosh, I have 21. I have 21 ships right now.
That is amazing. Well, and obviously the display is really cool. The ships themselves are clearly impressive, especially the larger ones. But what I really like about this and what makes it super unique is that you clearly invest some time in telling people who come to these shows, not only that you're an excellent builder, but what they're actually looking at. So talk to me a little bit about, first of all, some of the hats and other historical items you have sitting around here, and then why you decided to focus so much on making sure that people could not only look at these creations, but read about them too.
Oh yeah. So I'm a big historian. I'm not historian, but big, like, as always, history buff. So I am invested in Navy because my great-grandfather, but a lot of stuff, I actually went to some of these ships. So Laffy is the one that I went to, and I got the hat. Then the Juno, we sell that at the Grout Museum District in Waterloo, Iowa, where I volunteer at, and I scan a lot of cool photos. Then after that, I basically went on LSD 325, seen your guys' awesome model by Dan. I was like, oh my God.
I suppose it was still there and on display when you showed. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So then after that, and then the Sullivans, we sell that also. But I'm hoping on getting on Iowa. The actual museum of the USS Iowa wants her. They want my model to be on the ship. From Iowa to California, that's going to be
be an interesting trip, especially with this bad boy.
Yeah, I don't want it to break apart.
Well, you made it here.
Exactly. But then also like the history and all that stuff, it's all kind of connected to Iowa in some sort, because Laffey was named after Laffey DD-459,
right?
Same battle as USS Juno, CL-52, same as Fletcher. Then after that, it goes from like Pillsbury, from the Midwest with U-505 captured. Also, Sullis is connected to Iowa. The Sullivan Brothers from Iowa, Battle. Also, like Clamagore was a museum ship with Laffey, and also that's actually a part of Clamagore.
I was going to ask what the story was about this over here.
So she was scrapped. So she was originally a museum in like the 70s, I think. I can't remember. But then after that, she was in terrible. She was falling apart. Then I went there in October, the Laffey reunion, and I'm like, hey, can I have a piece of that? Like, sure. I hopped on board the ship, ripped apart, and left. And then I'm like, hey, I have a piece of a sub. So that's not just one part. I have like three.
Okay.
I have 3 parts. One's like 7 feet long.
Well, that is a unique addition to any collection, that's for sure.
And also I have a part of Iowa, too. I have a part of the USS Iowa from a friend.
Oh, is that what's going on over here? Sure, okay.
This is my actual part of USS Iowa. That's teak deckwood. So I kind of matched it with the light tan of the actual deck of the ship. So when she was being like restored, ripped all the wood off and it sold it. So one of my friends, he actually bought one, and I actually got it.
Wow, so that's really cool.
Yeah, and he's like, you're from Iowa, I can ship it to you. So,
it belongs in its home.
Right. And then also, to show you the scale, I have my 40mm Bofors gun over there. So the 40mm Bofors is actually really cool because that gun is actually this here. And like how big these ships are.
Well, and even in that scale, it gives you a little bit of an idea of just how big the guns it's sitting on top of are.
Yeah, right? And then, all of this has like 40mm Bofors, 20mm Bofors. I kind of make like the 4 like barreled ones. I couldn't do that, but I can make the 2 barrels. So it looks like the 4 barrels. But yeah, that's basically all the fleet. But I have a small little detail. So all like the little anti-aircraft guns, like this, are actually Star Wars pistols.
Yeah.
Those are Star Wars pistols, and also these little anti-aircraft guns and the not radar, but like the gun directors are actually minifigure.
Good parts usage.
Yeah, I had to de-hand all my minifigure Star Wars figures just to get it, and I'm like,
they don't have guns or hands anymore.
Yeah, right.
But the ship looks great.
And speaking of Star Wars, the Juno, I destroyed the Millennium Falcon from 2016. To make that ship.
Oh, there are some people out there who are like, what?
Yeah, they're like, I hate you for this. I'm like, nah, it's in Atlanta. Let's make it. But yeah, that's basically the gist of all the ships. But do you have any more questions? Or?
Wow. This is an absolutely impressive collection.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really cool to see the way you lay it all out. And like I said, including the bits of history, obviously you're very knowledgeable. But yeah, having everything here is amazing. And thank you very much for making the trip out here to World War Rick. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
I'm actually making more ships. I'm making more like from like Spanish-American War through like modern day. So that's why I'm trying to get off of this ship, showing the history of the U.S. Navy during the 20th and 21st century. And also, I'm making USS Iowa BB-4. She was a ship in Battle Santiago de Cuba, the Spanish-American War. One of the crucial battles in the whole war, because the Spanish fleet were trying to get out, but the American fleet were going around. So I had to make it for that because, number one, she looks cool. Number two, the historical part is cool.
Number one, she looks cool.
Right? And then also, a lot of people make Spanish-American war vessels.
Yeah, definitely very
around
unique.
here, you see like World War II, World War I. I'm like, I need to make something from Spanish-American. So that's what I'm planning on next. Maybe some carrier like USS Langley. Well, she's on her construction right now. She's gonna be done by probably next year.
Okay.
So hopefully I can bring her in a World War brick next year. So
sweet. Well, that's awesome. We love hearing that there's stuff in the works still, because that means we can do an update next time we check in.
oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Great. Well, thank you so much for making the trip out here to World War Brick and walking us through your collection. And as always, thank you guys very much for watching.